Today we are looking at the new Armani Code Elixir. This one only comes in the 50ml at the moment, the same as the rather new Acqua di Gio Elixir, which was released about a year ago, maybe even less than that. They both only come in the 50ml, similar to what Dior Sauvage did with the Elixir when it first came out. Only came out in the 60ml, and then it eventually came out in the 100ml, but to start with only came in 60ml, and that is the same with the Armani Elixirs. They are coming in 50ml only. And when you compare that to the size of the bigger bottles, they look a bit ridiculous. This is an old Armani Code Absolute 200ml, and look at the size difference. So I actually quite like the smaller bottles, to be honest with you. I just don't like the increased price per ml, but we'll get into that in a moment. And we'll also talk briefly about the Acqua di Gio Elixir as well. So Armani Code Elixir is a fragrance that I think we all wanted if you're fans of the Armani Code lineup, like I am certainly. It's a fragrance I think that we wanted, and it's a fragrance line that we wanted to make darker, richer, and just to see what they would do with the Armani Code DNA. So let's go through the breakdown now. So there's 3 or 4 main listed notes in this fragrance. You have a green mandarin, which, to be honest with you, it's really hard to pick up that note. It's not like an obvious note. You also have green mandarin listed in some of the Armani Acqua di Gio fragrances, like the EDP, for example. Acqua di Gio EDP has a green mandarin note listed, and you can smell it really clearly. It's a really obvious note in that fragrance. But in here, it doesn't shine through that strongly. There is a bright opening, but it's not a distinctive green mandarin note. So you have green mandarin, you have a leather and liquor accord, so like leather and booze mixed together, and then you have a note called grilled tonka bean. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but tonka bean is a note that is in all of the Armani Code fragrances. It's one of those signature notes that is in all of their fragrances. So anytime you smell an Armani Code fragrance, it will have this signature tonka bean style dry down, which I think smells fantastic. So I don't smell much green mandarin in here, but it does have a really boozy and leathery touch to it. And you smell the obvious Armani Code dry down. So a lot of the Armani Code fragrances, EDT, EDP, Parfum, whatever, they all have this signature dry down, so you know it's an Armani Code fragrance. Now, the liquor and leather note in here contrast each other a little bit, because they're sort of 2 notes that you wouldn't always get together in a fragrance. Normally you'd have one or the other. In a darker fragrance, you would choose either it's going to be boozy or it's going to be leathery. Of course, you have some fragrances where it's both, but in here it does smell quite like they contrast each other a little bit, and they don't necessarily smell that good together, and it smells, especially after the first few minutes, like it should be one or the other, at least in my opinion. But I'm starting to like this fragrance more than when I first got it. I've only had it about a month or so, but when I first got it, I wasn't massively impressed. It didn't do anything extra for me than the other Armani Code fragrances did. I wished at the time that they were going to be a bit more creative with this fragrance, but the more I wear it now, the more I actually like how it smells. Once you get through the opening, because the opening does smell a little bit medicinal, it smells a little bit like antiseptic cream in some ways, but you can really see past that, and it only lasts a couple of minutes, and then it goes into the dry down and it becomes leathery, boozy with that tonka bean style dry down. I still think that they could have done something slightly different with this. I think Sauvage Elixir, it's over here, I think Sauvage Elixir set the bar so high with Elixir fragrances, and I think Dior got it absolutely spot on when they released this, because it still had the Sauvage DNA, but it was deep and buried in this fragrance. It was really hard to pick up. It wasn't really obvious. You had to search for it, and they made it really much more of a challenging, spicy fragrance, but it still smelt really beautiful, and it was really strong as well. It's a really strong fragrance, is Sauvage Elixir. It has excellent performance, and it's a fragrance that people notice on you, and I think that's what we need from Elixir fragrances. We need something that's strong, robust, and almost smells like a niche fragrance. So Armani Code Elixir, it does smell really nice. It's a very nice smelling designer fragrance. I wish they would be a little bit more daring with this DNA, because I think there's some amazing things you can do with the Armani Code DNA. Now, I do think it's a better release than this. This is the Acqua di Gio Elixir that came out a few months ago. I think it's a better release than this because this one didn't go anywhere near far enough in making a creative elixir fragrance that was worth the money. As I said a minute ago, I think Dior Sauvage Elixir really set the bar high when we were looking at elixir fragrances. And Armani Acqua di Gio Elixir, for me, is a little bit of a miss, but I prefer the Armani Code Elixir over that one. Now, for any of you guys wondering, does it smell similar to this fragrance, Armani Code Absolute, which was discontinued a while ago? It doesn't actually smell that similar, really. They just smell like two completely different Armani Code flankers. So don't be thinking or hoping you're going to get that same fragrance back, because that one is gone and this one is its own fragrance. Now, if I was you, let me just grab it. If I was you and I'm looking to buy an Armani Code fragrance, I would just go with Armani Code Parfum. I think this one is a really excellent designer fragrance. It's signature scent worthy. It's strong enough. It's a parfum concentration. It has decent performance. It smells lovely with that tonka bean dry down, as we mentioned, and also has a really beautiful fresh bergamot opening. And also this bottle is a lot cheaper because you can buy a refill. This one, you can unscrew this and it is refillable. And so in the end, you're getting much better value for money. Whereas Armani Code Elixir is going to be a similar price to Armani Code Parfum, which you get 125 ml straight away, but for 50 ml. So you're paying over double the price per ml. And I don't think it's actually worth it to buy Armani Code Elixir over Armani Code Parfum. So if I was you, I would be buying this instead. Now, the performance of Armani Code Elixir is okay. It's nothing special. It's no Dior Sauvage Elixir. It's not at that level. But it does have quite a strong dry down, so that leather liquor note with the tonka bean sweetness does last a fairly long time, but it's not a really strong, extrait de parfum concentration performance. At least for me, it doesn't really perform much better than Armani Code Parfum, which I just mentioned. So overall, this just smells like a slightly darker, slightly more of an evening style fragrance, maybe a bit more formal than the other Armani Code fragrances. So if that's something you're looking for, then it's certainly worth to sample Armani Code Elixir, but I really wouldn't blind buy it because it's quite expensive. It's about £90 for only 50 ml. Overall, judging a few different factors, I'm going to rate this a 6.2 out of 10. I would really recommend buying Armani Code Parfum over Armani Code Elixir. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this new fragrance. Have you tried it? And what did you think of it? See you soon.